Hi, I'm Dr. Mitchell Roslin. I'm the chief of the bariatric surgical program at Lenox Hill Hospital in New York City and Northern Westchester Hospital in Mount Kisco, New York, which is in Westchester County. And I'm on Troy Estefan Magazine.
You could become a doctor. What made you choose obesity?
Oh, God. I think that, first I chose to go into surgery. Mm-hmm. And then I became a bariatric surgeon by complete accident, mistake, and probably some idea of the media. And then kind of it fascinated me to the point where now I do a significant amount of research and speak all over the world. So essentially, a patient came into the clinic, and this was a time when laparoscopy was in its initial beginnings. She was extremely heavy. She needed her gallbladder taken out, and I said, why don't we do a bariatric procedure at the same time? She happened to be a telephone operator that spoke to the whole world. One of those patients was actually related to Max Gomez, who at that time was with WNBC News, or CBS News, I can't forget. And Max Gomez and I did a television story about how bariatric surgery treats diabetes. And this goes back in probably about 1995. The next thing you knew, I had 100 people in my office, and I was a bariatric surgeon. Since that time, again, I'm in the first generation of advanced laparoscopic surgery. So we were the first generation to do many of these procedures, and now kind of have taken it to a new level. With that, I've learned an awful lot about obesity, as well as the surgical treatments of obesity and limitations. And I think I have developed a kind of vision, and I've been involved with a lot of patents, inventions, and technology potentially for new devices in this area.
In this edition, Troy Estefan Magazine, February 2011, Volume 1. Dexter.net. DJ Prime, the official DJ for the home games of the New York Giants and New York Jets. AV8 Records. Felix Ital Jr., the celebrity photographer. G-Force, producer of the 60-Second Assassin. Black History Month. Share with Sharp, Dog Advice, and more. P. Frank Williams of Profit From It Entertainment. John Field of the Feel Good Foundation. Diva of K104. Randy Becker of Next TV. Comedian Tommy Too Smooth. Tom Buscaglia, the gay attorney. Sponsored by Mark Fisher, attorney at law. Quest Financial Services. Sunil of Papa John's in Middletown, New York. Fusion Barbershop. With video interviews from Julio Pabon of Latino Sports and Dr. Mitchell S. Roslin. Lose weight with the Duo Dino Switch.
In your opinion, what causes obesity?
I don't think there's any one answer for any two people. I think that obesity is a lot like fever. There's a lot of different reasons why somebody may have a fever. You may have a cold, you may have appendicitis, you may have an infection in your toenail. So obesity is an energy imbalance, and I think people get there from a lot of different ways. Certainly your genetic factors make a difference. How do we know that? When identical twins are born and they're separated, they usually come to close to the same weight. But we also see that obesity is increasing in such a fast rate, so we know that can't be genetic because it takes millions and millions of years, thousands and thousands of years for genes to change. So there has to be something in the environment. So what do I think the two biggest environmental factors are? And I don't want anybody to start smoking, but I think it's the negative consequence. When we read books like Freakonomics, and they talk about how we don't understand the inadvertent consequences of certain actions. I think it's the inadvertent consequence of smoking cessation. In fact, I'd love to call those guys to actually research that. And as well as the net effect of industrial farming. You say, well, what do you mean by industrial farming? I think Michael Pollan, who's written some great books, talks about that extremely well. It used to be that cows were raised on the range, they ate grass, and it took 4 years for them to be butchered. Now we've expedited that process, so most are butchered in less than 1 year. If you are what you eat, then you are what you eat eats. And so there's been a change with that. People talk about the impact of fast food. Well, fast food exists because of supply and demand. If it took 5 years to butcher a cow, then the cost of beef would be much more expensive, and you couldn't have cheap hamburgers. You wouldn't be able to have all this mass production of food. So I think it's the net consequence of industrial farming, which a lot of people stem back to the time when the Nixon administration decided to basically fix the price of corn. So the only way, instead of a farmer having to judge how much to grow and make his money on supply and demand, the best way to make more money was to have more land and grow more corn, which we created an excess of corn, which created industrial farming, fructose, the new corn syrup type of sugars, as well as why we place ethanol in our gas tank.